Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Alright, so today's video, I'm going to show you my research strategy for coming up with a best-selling title to work on. Alright, so previous video, I talked about how to model any book on Amazon, and some people have been asking me, how do I do my research to get the book I want to model? And that's what this video is going to be all about. Alright, so without wasting much time, I'm going to take you through the parameters that I go through that every book must meet before I decide to model it. All right. So without wasting time, let's dive into the video. All right. So the first parameter I look at is the year of publication, right? Second parameter is the number of competition. The third parameter is the number of reviews that book will have. All right. So why I usually pick not less than 2023 is because I focus on new release books. Right, I don't want to go for books later than 2023. Okay, if you have two books on how to make money and one was published in 2000 and one is published in 2025, people are going to buy the one of 2025 more because they believe information is being renewed, information is being updated. There is always new information coming out about things, maybe about health, about business, about relationships, about family, all right, about pregnancy, about menopause. Even when you are writing your cookbook, right? Many people usually use the year 2025 or the current year that they are writing a particular cookbook, all right? Because people believe that the method of producing meals must have been updated or upgraded, all right? So that's just the idea. Focusing on new release book will give your book more chance when you write on it to sell more. All right. So I actually also focus on books that are yet to be released, right? Under year of publication as a strategy. If I see a book that is yet to be released and is doing very well, I actually write on it. All right. Second thing I check is the number of competition. Since these books are new release book, I don't expect the competition to be more than 500, right? I don't expect the competition to be more than 500. And like I said, the number of reviews should be 50 and above. All right. But since some of these books are yet to be released, we will not have any reviews yet, but they will be selling. So you can actually ride on that too and sell. All right. So this third one is not an iron fist. All right. It can be flexible. All right. So without wasting time, let's go into Amazon and let me walk you through this process. All right, so when you come over to Amazon, be on new releases. All right, you want to be on new release. You want to click on, you can see new release here. You go to Amazon.com. You want to click on new releases, right? Then under new releases, you want to be on books. You want to be on books. You want to be on. Now there are various niches you can actually focus on. There are various niches you can focus on. You can focus on business. You can focus on health, fitness, and dieting. You can focus on self-help. You can focus on parenting and relationship. All right, these are the niches on Amazon that you can actually focus on and write on. All right, for today's example, I decided to go with health, fitness, and dieting. And then under health, fitness, and dieting, I went with nutrition. Okay, so and under nutrition, I found a particular book, right? I found a particular book. As you can see, this book is yet to be released. May 13, 2025. All right, this is May 13, 2025. 320 pages. Now, the extension that is giving me this information about this book is called Productor for Merch. That's the extension, Productor for Merch. Just go to Google, search for Productor for Merch extension and install it. All right, you're going to have enough information about the book you want to model. All right, so this particular book, let's search out this particular book title on Amazon, a book that is yet to be published, right? It's going to be published in May 13, 2025. Well, as you can see, the BSR is 913. All right, let's search it out and see. First of all, we have to also check for trademark, right? You want to check for trademark first of all. Check for trademark before you even start writing on the book, right? Check for trademark. If it has met all the criteria that you have listed, you want to include check for trademark. Check for trademark. mark. Most of the times I omit this in my videos because I believe everybody should know how to do this already. All right. So the website I usually go to check for trademark is USPTO. Yeah, trademark search. So trademark tmsearch.uspto.gov. Right. So I will drop the link also in my description. I'll be dropping the link in my description. All right. So I searched for this book on Amazon, and as you can see, the competition is just 50. 50 results for metabolic freedom. All right. 50 results for metabolic freedom. All right. So when I scroll down, I wanted to see the books that are related to the metabolic freedom. Okay, so you can see some people are actually working on a cookbook that are related to this particular title. All right, so if you want to come from the cookbook angle, you can actually write a cookbook using this title. Okay, you can also work on, you can see the metabolic effect diet. When was this released? 2011. Okay, let's see again. The ultimate cookbook for metabolic freedom. Okay, and this was published when? 2025, and it's already selling. This is an amazing way to come up with titles to work on, man. So this is just 50 results, and as you can see, it is amazing. Look at this person. This is April 25, 20, this is April 15, 2025, and this is metabolic freedom. All right, so someone has already started working on this particular book title already, and the person is, as you can see, some sales are coming in Kindle store. So the Kindle is already selling. All right, so if I were you, this is a title that you might want to consider working on immediately. Let's check for trademark before we actually work on the title, right? Before I say go and work on the title, Metabolic Freedom Blueprint. So this title for me is looking trademark to Metabolic Freedom Blueprint, even though it's not Metabolic Freedom, but Metabolic Freedom Blueprint. Let me see the person who trademarked this, owners, Steiner Strength Incorporated. So if you want to work on this particular title, don't use your main account to work on it. Don't use your main Amazon KDP account to work on this particular title based on the fact that this Metabolic Freedom Blueprint is trademarked, right? You have Metabolic Connection 044. So this 044 is not, does not have to do with books, but this has to do with books, educational services, right? It has to do with books. So if I were you, I will not work on this title on my main KDP account, right? I will not do that. So aside from those two, I don't think there's any other issue with this title, metabolic balance 044. All right, the class we actually watch out for is 016 and 041, if I'm not mistaken. 016 and 041. These are the two titles that we work on, that we stay off if they are trademarked. So let's check other niches aside from health, fitness, and dieting. Let's check parenting and relationship, and let's see if there are titles that we can actually work on also. Okay, a memo before you fly away, lessons from home, the fight for us, how to love better. Let's see when this was released. How to love better. How to love better. My extension is still loading. That's why I can't see the details. March 11. This is the audio book, right? So let's check if the paperback is actually a new version. All right. I love this title, How to Love Better. All right. Let's see more details about the paperback and see when it was released. How to Love Better. Let's see the paperback, hardcover, Kindle. Okay, no paperback. Let's see hardcover and see when the hardcover was published. If it's recent, we'll check the number of competition because the rating already crosses our checkbox, right? So this is hardcover. I'm on hardcover currently now, and the hardcover was released in March 11. Hardcover, and it was released in March 11, 2025. Okay, that's it. Checks the box of our recent publication. It checks the box for 50 ratings and above. And then let us now check the title on Amazon and see how many competition we have on how to love better, right? Let's see how many competition we have on how to love better. Okay. Highlight paste, how to love better. 246 results. So less than 500. How to love better, less than 500. So as you can see, this title is also a self-help niche that we can work on right now. We can model this title and we can work on it, and we can expect the books to start selling. All right. Imagine a recent publication that is doing very well in March 11th already and has over 141 results. So if you can model this title, model this book interior using that video I taught us on the channel, show you should see your dashboard begin to change. All right, you should see your dashboard begin to change massively. So this is another title I might even work on, how to love better. So next thing we have to check for now is trademark, right? Let's check for trademark. So we have how to love better, we have metabolic freedom. So these are two titles that I'm going to look at. So let's check how to love better. Let's see if it's a title that is trademark. How to love better, sorry. How to love better. So let's search and see if it is trademarked. All right, so it's not trademarked. So it's not trademarked. Coach, brilliant. Project 369, have no shame. How to be a better sociopath. So it's not trademarked, right? So it's a title that we can work on. So this title checks the box. Then this other title, metabolic freedom, also checks, right? So we have already two titles already that we can work on. So like I said, this metabolic freedom depends on the angle you want to come in from. You can see some people working on a cookbook. All right. So if I wanted to work on this particular title, I might create a cookbook on it. I might create a self-help book on it. You can make profit from the author's book, right? You model his title, model the table of contents, you generate your contents, all right, and you are good to go. Okay, you are very, very good to go. So maybe in my next video, if you're having challenge with coming up with a title, like modeling the title, then I would like to know in the comment section. Maybe my next video, I will work on how to model a particular best-selling title and how to use it to make profits. All right. So that will be that about the video for today. I'm sure you have gotten value from today's video. If you have any questions, make sure you drop it in the comment section and I'm going to answer your question. All right, see you in my next video.